Hey everyone, welcome. Come on in and let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I'm back. Hi. So tonight we have my high school friend, Chrissy Mode DeVie. She is a nutritionist. She is an Advent vegan and chef. She is a very persistent woman. I've known her. So we went to the same high school. We're both from Philadelphia. We went to the same high school, and through a mutual friend, we reconnected after our last reunion. And I have watched her grow and change. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some and represent again to others, Chrissy Mode DeVie. Yay!
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome.
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to you, Wendy, for having me on your platform to talk to all of your friends who are now my friends too. I don't know if you're live on social media. I was trying to look, so if you want to check that. And while you're doing that, I it's really great how God does things, right? We didn't really interact in high school. I actually was very introverted, so I didn't know a lot of people. But like you said, we reconnected, and I think it was more so after the 30th year reunion. I started reconnecting with a lot of the high school classmates, and we reconnected from a social mutual friend, and now have had the opportunity to get to know each other. Not only have we got to know each other through text messages and calls, we got an opportunity to see each other in person, which I was very happy about that.
Yes.
So what you didn't share is that you are an incredible nurse. I'm saying nurse practitioner because we're going to call it all the way in. You know so much about the medical field, and you're so intelligent. I just listen to you sometimes, and I hear you share things with us, and I'm just like, wow, I'm in awe of being around someone who is so gifted, kind, and intelligent as yourself. So I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes, I will be finished school next year in May of 2026. I will be streaming myself walking down that aisle with my cap and gown on, graduating with my two master's degrees, one in public health and one as a master's in nursing with adult, being an adult primary care nurse practitioner.
That's amazing.
Well, I'm going to say that you are amazing. Okay. So now let's take this back because I remember when I first started following you on social media, and you were talking about studying to become a nutritionist, to get certified. I believe.
Actually, I started as a personal trainer. That was the first part.
Okay, yeah. Personal trainer. So that was first. Yes, you're right. It was a personal trainer. I couldn't remember which one was first. So let us know what started your journey into becoming a personal trainer and then a nutritionist.
First of all, that's a really great question because the catalyst to me wanting to do this, I had an amazing personal trainer who took me from gaining a lot of weight. I never was really an obese woman or overweight, and I was in the military, so you're active in the Navy and just different things like that. So I never really thought about the weightlifting and the weight training and what it could do for our bodies. So after I got over 35, I would say in my 40s, I gained weight. and I knew that I needed help. And he was the very first personal trainer I had. He was very professional, and the way that he handled me said, you know what, I would like to serve at that level. So he made me feel comfortable, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to tailor it around helping women, because sometimes some women don't feel comfortable, training with, a male. And I said I wanted to do that. So just because of Ron Kinslow, that kind of opened that door for me to say that I could help other people and give it back. And then the reason why I took it to the next level, because 80% of your healthy lifestyle changing is what you eat. So I wanted to learn about the nutrition aspect of it for myself first, because everything that I do is for myself first before I kind of put it out there. And then so that I could help other people do that. And then do you want me to keep going on the evolution, or before you? Okay.
So you wanted to help women, and how did you? Okay, so you were doing the personal training part, and you really wanted to focus on helping women. So what brought you into the nutrition part?
Well, that part too, because it's hand and foot. So I didn't want to just do the weight training without knowing what they should put in their bodies. That's where you talk about the 80%. So, a lot of people I came in contact with, they may not have been able to do certain exercises. When you first start off, you can't just go all in. So you had to show them, from the beginning, the nutrition part, what you put inside your body, how we eat, we are what we eat. What you put inside your body is going to show on the outside. So that's when that other aspect came into it. And then just learning the complexities and the differences in our bodies from between 30 to 50 has been very life-changing for me. So what I did in my 30s and 40s, what we did in our 30s and 40s is going to take a whole lot more for us in our 50s. So I was really intrigued on taking different case studies. And I don't like to say it like that, but they were case studies. So I wanted to strategically align myself with women who probably were in their 30s, mid 40s, and then 50s, so that I could, understand, the differences in how to tailor it, and along with the exercises and the nutrition.
So, excuse me. So the the difference between 30 something and doing things and over 50 doing things, that's a huge gap.
Yeah. So, when you think about it, like when we were in our 30s, you could just walk down the street and lose weight, effortlessly. So now I'm postmenopausal. So I've gone through the transitions of perimenopause, full-blown menopause, and then now postmenopause, and how to stabilize all of those different things. And I'm glad you asked that question, because I was trying to figure out why my stomach, because that was the big, when you're going through that transition, and you're a nurse, so you would know, my stomach was a certain way, even though I was working out, even though I hadn't changed my diet. So I went to the doctor, and he said, well, you have an estrogen belly. So then I said, okay, I'm not eating anything different. So why is my belly like this? And she started, explaining to me the hormone levels and just the differences in it. So it's really intriguing, because when we were in our 30s, we didn't have that. Even after I had my children, I bounced back immediately. I wouldn't even think about having a child in my 40s.
Exactly. So I want to take it back a little bit, because, growing up, we used to have commercial watching Saturday morning cartoons, and they would have commercials and all, and they would have the little vegetables and stuff telling us, you are what you eat.
Right.
What we put in our bodies is really what we are. And a lot of people, I don't know if they really realize that or not, but the foods that we eat, the things that we take in our bodies, breaks down to the cellular level, and then it builds us back up.
Right.
Every 3 months, our cells die, and cells are constantly dying and being renewed. So that happens by the foods that we eat. And I remember when you announced that you were going vegan.
That was 8 years ago.
That was
that was
8 years ago.
It was 8
Yeah.
years ago.
So what it was, I know why we had that conversation, but explain to the listeners what actually made you go from just eating in a more healthier way to actually going vegan.
So I'm glad you asked that question because I'm gonna take it back to my childhood. As a child, I didn't like eating meat. And my mom would always say, you got to eat all the food on your plate. You know how your parents said that? And most children would leave the vegetables, but I would eat all my vegetables and leave the meat. So even as a child, I didn't really like it. I didn't like the consistency of the meat. I would prefer to have vegetables, gravy, potatoes, those type of things. But then when I got older, 8 years ago, we have in our ministry, we have a Daniel's fast. And I called my mom that one year and I said, and I was just really transparent with my mom. My mom's a pastor. And I said, we're having a Daniel's fast. And this year, I really want to not cheat on it. Because there was fast all the time and you're supposed to do certain things. And I didn't go through with it. And I said, I really wanted to do it. So the 21 days with the Daniel fast. And I liked the way I felt. I liked the way pattern was. I liked the way my skin was looking. I just liked my energy levels, everything after I came out of that Daniel's fast. And one of the other things that was really instrumental in is that I kind of applied my prayer life and then really got strategic and intentional with my relationship with God. So it strengthened me so that I could go through that whole process of those 21 days. And then I didn't even know what a vegan was. I didn't even know the term. So I had a sister of mine in ministry who was a vegan, and she had a group. And I said, she said, well, why don't you come in my group? And I said, okay, sure, it's no problem. She said, we're just doing vegetables. I said, okay. I knew nothing about veganism. And she said, well, okay. I said, so this is vegan. Can you be my vegan coach? So I didn't know about the whole. So there's different types of vegans. Vegans who just want to eat the food and still wear the clothes, the animal clothes, still doing all of this other stuff. So it was a gradual process for me because I was wearing pearls and I had, the bags and the leather pants and all of those different things. And she said, well, I said, do I have to throw all my stuff away? She said, no, you don't have to do that. And I think my aha moment, because I love pearls. I love some pearls. And I said, are pearls vegan approved? She said no, because it's cruelty to the oysters. And I didn't know that, the way that they extract the pearls out of them. She said, so technically it's not vegan. So then I started buying pearls that weren't real pearls. And yeah, so it was a process for me to kind of transition. And then I gave away a lot of my bags. I don't wear the leather pants or anything like that. Now I will say I do have one coat that's probably, I want to say about 15 years old. And then you might see it on my page with the fur around it. I still have that one, but I have a full fur coat now that's faux fur. So now what I do is I intentionally look for items that aren't vegan, non-vegan approved. I look for bags that I know that are vegan approved just because of the animal cruelty aspect of it. So I've taken it from just what I ingest to what I am wearing and in my hair and perfume. I wear vegan perfume.
Right. Well, that's good because that's in my mind that is a true vegan. Because you're not using any animal byproduct, you're not wearing any animal skin or fur or anything like that, and then you're not ingesting anything from the animal.
Well,
but
I think the term is plant-based nutrition. So if someone does plant-based nutrition, then they probably still would wear those things.
Okay.
Where when you're talking about somebody that's a vegan, those are the ones who are all out,
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. So I am neither. I am neither. I'm not for animal cruelty, but I do like to eat some fish and seafood.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let me for people that don't know, Daniel's fast is where you eat fruit, vegetables, nuts, grains, and no
No fish,
yeast.
no
Yeah,
yeast,
no animal at all. And
no salt, no sugar.
right,
Very
right.
strict.
No additives, no
Right.
additives, no sugar, any only natural products, only natural products.
Correct.
I think I've done 2 true full Daniel fasts before. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
the first one that I did, I was going through my divorce and I did it, but it wasn't, that was then. But anyway, then the next time I did one, girl, I was so hungry when that thing was over. I was like,
Really?
yeah, I was because um I did it, but my mind, I was not in the right place spiritually. I mean, God carried me through it, but I
Right.
wasn't um in the right place spiritually to keep it going. So like right
I
now,
understand.
right,
I'm with you.
you know what I mean?
Like with
So
the prayer life and just your mindset. That's what I was telling you. I was really intentional with it. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, because you have to be when you're doing something like that, you really have to be intentional. And like now, I am being very intentional for Lent. I have, and people that really know me, I gave up chicken wings. Not
Oh,
because I chose to, but because I was led by the Holy Spirit to give up chicken wings. And I'm like, okay. But there it is. So I have
proud of
not
you.
been eating any chicken for
I'm
the,
proud of you.
yeah. Because, wings are my definite go to. I can go to any restaurant as long as they
Yeah.
got some wings. So, but yes. So anyway, now with the nutrition, I know we work out and we go to the gym and people work out really hard, but your body is really made in the kitchen. It's not really made in the gym. The
Yeah.
gym is what tops it off per se. It's what
Mhm.
gives you your form and your shape. That's the way I look at it because when you're whatever exercise you do, whether it's lifting weights or using your own body weight, that's what helps to give you the form because you're building your muscles, you're burning off fat, but it's
Mhm.
your diet that is
Mhm.
what's working at the cellular level to
Mhm.
help build you up. Am I from
That's
your
true. Yeah, and then your protein intake too, if you want the
yes.
muscles and stuff like that. That's really important, especially for women. That's true. That's why I said that's why I kind of gravitated towards the nutrition certification because I wanted to learn more. And
Mhm.
then just being a little bit more transparent and true to myself, I now am going to plant-based nutrition because that's where my heart is. And I just want to just take it to the next level. Just like I had put myself back in school, a culinary institute, because I really wanted to know how to really kind of take it from scratch and create something. So, like you say, you like chicken. I wanted to be able to give even people who are omnivores, pescatarians, that experience, but with plant-based dishes. And you can, like God, everything we need, God gives us in the earth. So I said, well,
Amen.
let me think about this.
Mhm.
I can make that. So now it's like I make my own butter effortlessly. Just I'm not lacking from anything that I liked. The milks and stuff like that. Even though it's not chicken, it still has the consistency of chicken. And I used to love crabs. Like I used to tear some Dungeness crabs up. All you can eat. Come on now. I used to love it. Dip it
Yeah,
in the butter. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So just to kind of give myself, because a lot of people who are vegans, they didn't become vegans because they didn't like the food. They just
right.
don't want to hurt the animal.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I said, okay, I love certain things. So now, what can I do to make it where it's flavorful, it has that same consistency, and it's enjoyable? So the best I have as a taste tester is my grandson Carter. You know what I mean? So when I make things and I give it to him, he said, "Oh, I love this chicken." So I said, "Okay," because children, they're honest.
They are
Very
very.
honest. So that's kind of how I kind of graduated and gravitated to each level.
So I'm hearing that you are a person that, once you get to one level, you're like, okay, let me go dig deeper in this. Let me put myself in a deeper level. I understand that completely. So when you decided to say, okay, well, if I'm going to eat like this, I want to be able to prepare my own meals and make sure that they are tasty. So let me go to culinary school. How, explain that decision and that journey. I mean, I know you just said why you made the decision, but were you fearful? Like how long ago was this? And then, because here you are at another age, another season in life, and you like,
Renaissance
what?
woman, right?
I'm gonna go to culinary school.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I always have conversations with my daughter, and I was telling her I really want to do this. I was just like, I want to go to culinary school. And she's like, Mom, you can do anything you want to do. So yes, I was very fearful because I have a full-time job in IT, product development. Very intense. I'll say that intense job, and then going to school full time. And then I had to do externship full time as well. So it was a lot on me going from my traditional conventional job in IT to going to school, to studying, to making the dishes, to try to, learn all of the concepts of what goes inside of it. It was in 2023 that I decided to do it, and I graduated. No, 2022, because I graduated in February 2023. So it was a year long. And then right out of externship, I got hired at Bar Vegan. And then I also got hired at CNS Seafood. And I'm going to tell you why I did both of those. Because in externship, we had to pick, the concept of the environment of the restaurant that we wanted to cook in. And I said, well, I wanted to do something that was fine dining. That's my goal, to give somebody a fine dining experience, but plant-based.
Okay.
And then the other, so that was what CNS Seafood was. And then the other one was Bar Vegan because everybody knows about it. It's casual fine dining. It's fun. And, I could just learn what they're doing and, for the times, for different generations and how to make it really captivating for them to say, oh, I want to try this. I want to try vegan food. So that's why I chose those two. And then the other interesting part, Wendy, is that I never worked in a restaurant.
So this was a whole mindset change. This
Right.
was a whole, because you were in the office working in IT,
cooking in the kitchen, making dishes for people and stuff like that. So me, big believing in God, said I'm going to walk in here. I'm going to find out who the executive chef is, and I want to be an extern with no experience. Right. So I was talking to the chef, and he looked at me. He just looked at me. He said, okay. He said, so what restaurant have you worked in? I said, in my kitchen. And then at Bar Vegan, the same thing. I called him up, and the one at Bar Vegan, he actually was from Philadelphia. So he said, well, come on in and let's talk about it. So he said, well, what restaurant have you worked in? Now, they've had like 30 years experience in restaurant, in the restaurants and stuff. I said, no restaurant in my kitchen. So then he said, you know what? I'm going to give you, he said, because I've never had anybody just walk in here like that. He said, I'm going to give you a try, both of them. And then I immediately started. And then my chef, he said, I might have the experience in a restaurant. He said, but I think that you probably could cook better. So what I needed to do was learn the back office, the whole flow of the restaurant. I needed to learn what did they do from the time of the prepping. So I literally started as a dishwasher in my externship because I wanted to learn how the machine worked. I'm thinking big, me and my big mind self saying, God, I'm going to have a fine dining vegan restaurant, traveling all over. Yeah,
Yeah.
traveling all over. And I'm saying this in school. I'm gonna go to another country and share what I love with
Mm-hmm.
no experience, right? So I said, he said, well, your externship is for you to prep and all of these other things. I said, well, I would really like that, to learn the concept. So I would come in early on Saturday mornings, meet with him. He would show me the order procurement, how he intakes the food, the cleanup. I had to do all of that, clean the back, clean the freezer all out, get down and dirty, and then do the dishes. Then I graduated to prepping, the food, and then I graduated to the salad, and then right out on the front line. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think when you were talking about me going to the next level, I'm a continuous learner,
Yeah.
and I feel like like you're going to the next, you're really going to the next level. But I feel like you learn something new every day, and it was so exciting to me because the way that how like our moms and our grandmoms, and they make us a dish and we eat it and we're like, oh, this is so delicious, and then they're smiling. That's how I feel when
Mm-hmm.
someone eats something or drinks something that I make from scratch, and they're like, wow, and they light up. It just makes my heart just swells up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it does. That is I remember some of that story, but
Mhm.
I didn't know you did that to both of them. I thought you just did it to the one fine dining. But hey, that's what God does. If we take that step forward, He opens doors for us. And you are a person that is willing to learn. I know I truly believe that there's always room for growth.
Mhm.
And every day I look for something that's new that I'm learning. Even with me being in school, learning some deeper knowledge about health and healthcare, I still look for things outside of the health industry to learn new things. So now you mentioned what you were saying was how you went in there and you with your big thinking, big believing in
Big
God,
God thinking.
right? Big God thinking that you're going to go and um, make food for people all over the world. So I
Mhm.
know that you've been at least to one place doing that. So tell us about your last adventure out of the country.
So it was really amazing. My friend Lakia Holmesley, she's the owner of One Trip Over the Moon. She does wellness retreats all over. And she called me. She said, Christina, she said, we're gonna have a women's retreat in 2025. And I would like for you to come. I would like for you to do the presentation. And be with you, I'm an introvert. It doesn't seem like it. I don't know if that's the right, way to say it, but I'm really introverted. Like me and you, we talk. I could talk to you all day long. But
Right.
now I'm just going out and just talking to a whole bunch of people and sharing something. And then you still have that little fear in you. Will they like it? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So we went to Curacao. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was more than anything that I ever expected. But it also showed me that God's promises are yes and amen. Because
Amen.
I have been crying a lot of days when I was in school. I was so exhausted when like, is this even worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I doing this? I already have a career. 55. No, I'm 55 now, but I was 53, 54.
Mm-hmm.
And you start thinking to yourself, why are you doing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you preaching to the choir there.
Yeah. I mean, I was really, really, really exhausted. I didn't really have a lot of sleep, but when we went and then they had the setup and it was right there over the water, I
Mhm.
said, man, my whole heart was like, God, you are real. I'm telling you, that's all I could think. And
Mhm.
then when we started doing, when I started doing the presentation and sharing and showing the ladies, I could see them lighting up to
Mhm.
show them that it was easy, it was fun, it was sexy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then when we tasted it, wow. So now, 18 women. they all have grown affection for juicing, which is the first part of it, because we're healing our bodies at a cellular level. So we're showing them how to replenish, restore, and reset their bodies. And now it's ironic, but today is the first day of spring, and today is the first day that we start our next 21 days of juicing. So it's not just the juicing, but it's just the cleansing process.
Yes.
So yeah, it was really powerful. And then now she invited me back for 2026.
Yay.
So next time we'll be doing not only the juices, but also the live demonstration in the kitchen. And it's gonna be even more amazing, because I already started writing. I have 350 different recipes. So now, as opposed to when we had this last retreat that everyone was gifted with the journal, so now they'll be able to have these other recipes, which can take them to the next level, not just with the raw foods, but cooked foods.
Mm-hmm. And that's good, because I do remember when you mentioning you're going to have your own cookbook, and I was like, let me know, because I will get it. I might not eat plant-based 100%, but I do. I like to eat clean. I'll say that.
Right.
I am a pescatarian, but I do like to eat clean, and I am more of a fan of fruits and vegetables, and those types of things, as opposed to, like, I love, so as you know, I did some transitioning of my diet as well.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started working out and stuff, this was years ago, I realized that I had a high carb, high fat diet, and I was just getting older, and I needed to change that.
Me too.
So, right, and this was in my 40s, my mid 40s, when I actually started really changing my diet. And it's not you wake up one day and it's done.
No.
When you make, and I try to explain this to people, lifestyle changes take time. You have to do it, and then give yourself the grace for the times that you fail or you fall, or but you keep sticking to it, and then one day you look back and you're like, oh wow, look at how far I've come. So I know I probably will, and I don't know, I think I mentioned this to you, I probably will eventually one day become vegan when I get my farm, and I don't want to kill the animals, because I get the meat after that. So.
Right. You don't want to have them there, and then you're talking to them, then eat them. No.
Yeah, naming them and stuff.
No. And it's interesting you said that, because what I ate 8 years ago is I've taken it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And it was really hard for me to give up bacon. I don't know why. That Oscar Mayer bacon was everything. And then when I switched from Oscar Mayer bacon to turkey bacon, it just wasn't cutting it. So I was like, I'm gonna to do that. So, even that process, like I haven't had pork and beef. I can't even remember how long.
Yeah, so I haven't had pork. The last time I really ate pork was when I went to Alaska, before I went to Alaska, like 2017.
Yeah.
And then, so like now I eat more. Occasionally I'll eat some beef ribs, but I eat more. My red meat is more of lamb than anything else. And then I still don't eat that often. And I eat more fish and everything. And then I realized, I was like, I got to slow down with eating shrimp, because of that shellfish that builds up the cholesterol in your body. So I'm even like, okay, I have to really slow down eating those, because I love shrimp as well. So, as I was saying, whenever you're making a lifestyle change, that takes time, and you have to give yourself that grace and all. So in your transitioning, from being a personal trainer and working out, and being a vegan, plant-based eater, and moving into the vegan world, what has been your next step? I know that you recently did something that you didn't think you would ever do. It was very trying and difficult. Your
Oh,
race.
yeah. So I was like, what did I do? So I never, I just started running probably last year. No, yeah, around that time. I never had a desire to run. And I again called my daughter and I told her, I said I wanted to do a half marathon at 55. So my very first race was the Peachtree race, which was a 10K. And me and my little big mind didn't realize that that was 6.2 miles. I'm like, oh, okay, you know. And that was the first one I did. And it was the Peachtree. That was the first medal that I got, this one. And what was really exciting about that, because that was the 55th anniversary of that race. So it was 55 in my first race. And then after that, I did a couple of 5Ks. And then I did a 10 miler. And so I kind of took myself from July the 4th, my first race, to the half marathon on Thanksgiving.
So my question to you is, if you, and this is hypothetical, of course, but do you think that, because I'm not a runner, I don't have a desire to run, and I'm not going to run. I know that. In the back of my mind somewhere, anyway, because I'm not going to tell you that, because then you'll be like, oh, Wendy, come on, this is all you got to do.
5K. Yeah.
Yes. In your knowing, having all the knowledge that you have with being a personal trainer and eating and all of those things, do you think at your age, not that we are very old or anything, but do you think you would have been able to conquer that challenge of training yourself to run, being, if you were not on a plant-based diet, if you were eating the way that you used to eat before you changed your diet?
So it's twofold. I think that it helped me, but I had a different, for me, it was healing for me because I was going through a healing process. So it kind of took my mind off of everything else that was going on in my life. And I think also it's not just the plant-based, but because I weight train, because I know I have a sister circle of runners and they talk about the injuries, but they didn't really talk about weight training, the stretching. So I think at this age, because of those other aspects, all of those different variables, I was able to do it in a short amount of time. Now, normally, I wouldn't suggest for anybody to do it. What was that? 6 months? 7? No, that was 5 months.
5 months, yeah.
Yeah, from being on the couch of not running to doing a half marathon. No, I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. But I think that, no, because no, I wouldn't. But but I do think because of the way that I eat, that it helped me strengthen me.
Yes. So I agree with that. And even with the you mentioned sometimes people have a lot of injuries. And yes, so what I think a lot of women are not aware of is that when you get into that perimenopausal area, you need to start to lift weights. You need to do that strength training because it helps to build that calcium that you're going to lose soon into your bones, make your bones stronger and make your muscles stronger. Because once you hit menopause, all of those things start to leave you, you know? And I know for me, thank God I have never had, other than my 2 little toes, I have not had any broken bones. I got 2 toes on my foot. I always stump them. And in January, I know they were broken. But anyway, other than those 2, I have not had any broken bones. So I do my best to make sure that I do that strength training because it does help to fortify you. Because once you get past menopause, one of those things that happens is we lose calcium. That's why you see a lot of frail older women bent over and whatnot, because they're losing that mass in their bone density.
And then you know what else, Wendy? I had started before I started Pilates, and that stretching of the Pilates really helped me. Yeah, because I didn't know how to stretch beforehand. So it kind of helped me. I noticed that even with the combination of the weight training, the running, that my posture's changed. I stand up a lot better. Because when you just said that, I thought about it, like the slunching over. And when I was younger, my knees cracked all the time. They don't crack anymore, which is odd because I just started running at 55.
But that is because you are eating the things that you need to eat to replenish your body. So
that's true.
And I am, as much as I like fish and I like all of the things that are bad for us, plant-based diets really are. If we take it back to the Bible, that is what God ordained us to eat. Plant-based foods. We should have a plant-based diet. That is what he ordained us to eat. Excuse me. And fish. Because Peter was a fisherman, right? So they were eating fish too. So when we have aches and pains and things like that, when we wake up in the morning, people say, oh, that's just age. But you shouldn't have that.
You should not.
We should not have those things. I have been in the practice just over a couple of years now. When I wake up, I move all of my joints and they'll just start cracking and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay, I'm waking up. My body is waking up. But I want to get to a point where when I do that, I don't have that cracking. I don't have a snap crack happen.
And it will get there because, like I told you, my knees don't crack anymore. And I wake up before the alarm clock goes off. So that's the other thing. I wake up with all this energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And sleep is good too. So that's the other thing. People don't realize.
The other thing too. I get my sleep. Like a lot of my friends know, after 9 o'clock, I start kind of dwindling down. My body's accustomed to getting at least 7 to 8 hours sleep. Yeah. Period. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I do now. 7, 8 hours, definitely 7 to 8 hours. I'm doing that. And you do wake up with more energy. I've been working on no longer drinking energy drinks because, getting up early, going to work, and then all of those things. So I've been working on not drinking those. And I noticed when I get those 8 hours, I'm good. I wake up, I'm like, okay, come on, God, there we go. Thank you for this movement, this energy.
Yeah.
But it all has to do with really what we eat, what we take into our bodies. And it's, like I said, if we go back to biblical times, that's what that's what God's design was for us to eat. Fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes.
You get everything from the earth. Everything.
The Bible tells us that everything we need, his hand has already provided. It is right here. It's
true. Because I even find myself sometimes when I love pomegranates, right? And I like to have that crunch. I could sit and watch a movie and just eat a pomegranate or just some nuts. And I think about before, I was eating all these chips and all of these different things. And like you said, with the carbs, I had a real deep affection for anything but carbs, noodles, everything.
Me too.
And now I've kind of tailored it away from that, where I don't even have a taste for it as much as I did before. I still, of course, if I went somewhere, I could have some noodles, no problem. But I don't have it as much.
Yeah. And I think too, as you grow, some things just fall off. You know what I mean? The desire, like macaroni and cheese, I could eat macaroni and cheese all day, every day, but I don't do that anymore. The more that I turn towards eating in a more healthier way for me, I'm not even going to those things anymore. So one of the things that well, let me say it this way. Having made all of these transitions, for someone that is listening, that's sitting on their couch and they're like, oh, wow, I want to be able to run again. I want to be able to just walk up and down my steps. I want to be able to walk to the corner without getting short of breath or doing anything. Now, I know, and I tell people, movement is medicine. You got to get up and keep moving your body to get your heart pumping and get your the blood flowing and all of those things. From a nutritional aspect, what are some things that you could, you would suggest? Now, I know, and let me disclose this, that I do juice, and I learned from you on the proper way to juice. I bought my juicer, and this was maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was last year. About a year. It was about a year ago, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So I do juice. And I actually just finished my last one. I got to go to the store and get some more stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
You and your daughter. Your daughter.
Yes. Yes. My daughter too. Yes. So, and I enjoy it. I do, because I feel more energized. It makes my skin clearer. And then depending upon what you mix together is what, yes, it helps your body. So
it really does.
It does. I remember, excuse me.
You okay?
All right, yeah.
Every time you drink, I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, I'm okay. I remember I was coming down with a cold or something, and I juiced some carrots, garlic.
Oh, wow. You juice garlic? Okay.
I mixed garlic in it, some carrots, garlic, and I think it was apple, turmeric, and celery. Man, my nose was running a little bit. That thing said,
cleared it out. I knew you were going to say turmeric.
Cleared it right on out. So,
and the turmeric is good for your joints too.
Yes, yes, it has anti-inflammatory properties in there, so it is very good for your joints. But what I was going to say was, where can someone start at? What would be a good starting point for someone that's wanting to change how they eat?
So I think the first thing, number one, a lot of people don't drink water. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I think that they should first start with consuming more water, and then be very conscious of their vegetable portions, their depend, because everybody has differences, the carb intake, for their protein, the beans, different things like that, and then portion it out. So I think the number one for me is if they drink more water, because a lot of people don't. So you ever notice, like, if you don't drink a lot of water, you see it, when you go in the bathroom, it's too dark. It shouldn't be like that.
Exactly.
So that's the first thing. And then I think the vegetable intake, and probably if they're drinking sodas and stuff like that, maybe decrease that. It's kind of hard because a lot of people, they don't want to give up the things that they like, for something that's good for them. So I think adding, like, taking small steps. I'll go back to one thing when you were talking about able to walk. I couldn't really walk from where I live down the street. Anyway.
Uh-oh. Are you there, or is it me? Oh. Are you there? I think so. I think that we lost Chrissy. Um, so okay, let me let her back in. 1 second. All right, come on back in. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I think we lost her, but she'll come back in a few minutes. Here she is.
You see,
Okay, here we go.
This is how it happens. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi bounced.
It's okay. You made it back. So
So what was I saying? I couldn't walk down the street. So my first step and my first goal was being able to not just walk down the street, but I think you saw the videos where I would show this park, like a little area that I would go to, and that was my goal, to be able to get there and come back and be able to walk back up, because it's a little hill. So I took it gradually, and that wasn't even a half a mile. It was probably a quarter of a mile, not even that. And I said I was just going to start with small steps of continuously doing that every day. So if you do something and be consistent with it for like 30 days straight, then it'll start becoming a habit, and you'll start seeing yourself getting stronger. The same way with their eating pattern. We say, okay, I like to have sodas, I like to have cakes, I like to have these things. Let me dwindle down off of that and then add more vegetables, drink more water. Slow, small baby steps will make it where they will become more successful. Because 8 years ago, I probably, in my mind, I wouldn't have stopped eating Dungeness crabs.
Right.
So that was my first thing. Let me get off of one thing first. So I got off the bacon, then I got off the crab, stuff like that. So,
no, I agree.
But if you try to just go all in, you're not gonna be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that 100%, because even with me, I love tea. I will drink tea, hot, cold, all day, and I had to limit that myself. Sweet tea, hot tea, no sweet, not sweet, so I could drink more water. And that's what I started doing. So I began to limit myself to only drinking tea with my dinner.
Nice.
And now I only drink hot tea, usually in the morning or in the middle of the day when I'm studying and I'm starting to get a little tired. I may drink some black tea, but I no longer drink sweet tea unless I make it myself, because then I don't use white sugar. I'm using guava, and
agave too.
Yeah, and then what I actually started doing was using the juices that I make to have with my dinner. So that is another thing that I enjoy with juicing. I don't have to buy a sweetened juice or I drink my own juices.
Isn't it amazing? One thing I like orange juice. And you know how when you purchase orange juice from the store and the difference of how it tastes when you make it? I have not purchased orange juice from the store.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
That's how I feel about pineapple juice, because I love pineapple juice.
Really? Wow.
Yes,
okay.
I love pineapple.
You can drink it straight?
Yeah. Yeah. When I make it, yes. So actually when I make pineapple juice, I do add a red apple to it. And then sometimes I'll add either celery or a cucumber. Just depends. The celery gives it the cucumber makes it less fleshy.
Okay.
And the celery gives it more of a spritzier taste. It does something to it.
I never thought
to cut the tinginess of the pineapple.
I'm gonna try that. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's good. So so people that want to, whenever you want to make a big change in your life, you have to create new habits, right? So, and you can't just, I know people that say, oh, just jump in and do it.
No.
Then that's when you fail. That's when you fail.
You won't be successful. And then you just keep saying, okay, I'm going to start. Or you know how someone say, I'm going to start working out on Monday. Monday will never get here. Your Mondays are going to be every week. Yeah. So.
Yes, because I used to do that. I say, okay, on Monday, I'm going to start. And I would go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I rest and be like, okay, I'll start again on Monday. And I had to break myself out of that habit. And if I fall, meaning if I don't do something, I'm going to get back to it the next day. I'm not going to wait until Monday. You get back to it the very next day. So if you want to change how you eat, one small bite at a time. I heard somebody say, how do you eat a octopus, or how do you eat a shark, or how do you eat something that's really big? One bite at a time. So when you want to change your diets, change how you present, how your body is, you want to change your body, do it one little thing at a time. Take that one little bite at a time. Don't go ahead.
I really agree with that. Because if in my mind, when I started doing the running, I actually just went all in. And normally I would have stopped, but I said I just did 1 foot at a time. So I started thinking, okay, I felt defeated at first because I couldn't go a certain distance. So I said, let me take this back and just try to do shorter strides, shorter distances till I got to that point. I wouldn't have never thought that I would have did 13.1 miles.
Yeah.
Going from not even being able to do 1 mile. Walking.
Right, exactly. And you did that. So you started, but then you were like, wait. I can't just jump in and do this. Let me take it back.
Yeah.
And let me take it little pieces at a time.
Because I would have given up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you would have felt really defeated and down on yourself. And then you never want to try it again.
Never want to try it again. And I'm glad you said that, because now I want to do the marathon. And you're like, no, that's not my ministry.
not mine. But I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I learned a lot from the half marathon. So I said, I'm spacing myself out. I'm not trying to rush through it. You know what I mean?
So what were some of the lessons you learned in the half marathon? You're muted. Okay, there you go.
I should have trained longer, maybe given myself a year as opposed to 5 months. They have training plans that you can go by. I should have done that. I think I did pretty well with the weight training and the nutrition part of it and the stretching. But what I would have done better was I would have stretched my training out for the running part of it. And I probably would have gotten aligned with like a running group where they do the training, because I knew nothing about it. So just being somebody coming off the street, I would suggest that they get with a running group so that they can have them on that plan, the course.
Yeah. So that's not nothing that I ever even foresee myself doing. But I applaud you. I'm so happy for you that you did that, though, because I watched you from the side and I was like, wow, she is really doing that. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It does encourage me to get back on my bike, because I always said I wanted to do a bike marathon, but
nice.
I don't know any that happens here in Florida. I see people, but I don't want to.
I'm sure they do have it. If you want me to look it up for you.
No, I don't. Because next thing you'll be texting me.
Yeah, I'll send you a text. You're like, why did I tell Christina that?
Exactly. Like, I found this marathon. Oh, sis, look, you can do this one.
And especially you can go right to Disney World and do it.
Girl, Lord. No. Anyway. It was great to have you here. It was a great conversation.
Thank
a
you.
lot of these things I was aware of, but I learned some things too about you that I did not know. But also, before we go, I do have one other question. What is one of the things that in your diet, what is one of the foods that you love the most? One of the dishes that you make that you love the most?
Oh, one that I love the most. So I actually love mushrooms. So I make a mushroom that kind of makes you feel like you're eating chicken. I grill it. I can make it like a steak, and then I will add Alfredo sauce that I make out of cashews, which I love. Put asparagus on it, grill the asparagus, and just have it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make an.
And I've learned to love quinoa.
Oh, that I believe that is an acquired taste. Yeah.
I've learned to love that.
Yeah.
So anything with mushrooms. So I can make it seem like it's a steak, make it seem like, and I'm just saying it because people who are omnivores, they want to, well, what is it going to be like? We know it's a mushroom. I know it's a mushroom, but it makes me feel happy. So, and like with chicken wings, I could make you some chicken wings out of mushrooms.
Now we have a vegan restaurant here in the Orlando area, and they call it chicken.
Yeah, that's what it is, chicken.
Yeah, and it's good. It's really good. It is really good. But I love mushrooms, and I do love a good portobello sandwich, a grilled portobello sandwich, because I'm not big on burgers. But when I feel like I want one and I don't want to get one from the fast food restaurant, I will make me a portobello. Because I'm not going to buy ground beef because I'm not going to
right.
Eat it. I don't want it to go to waste, whatever. So I'll get me some portobello mushrooms. And they also are good for making little pizzas, the cats.
Nice. So I do have another one that I really love. It's a beer. It makes you think of batter fried fish, right? Oh. And I found OE has a non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
I will make this all the time. You can make it out of jackfruit. I mix it with jackfruit and hearts of palm. And it's funny that you said that because when we were preparing for coming up to the 21 Days of Better Me, I treated myself with it. And then what I'll do is I'll take rice paper, and that makes you feel like you have that skin on the fish. So it's a whole process. And then I just delve into it, that jackfruit and that hearts of palm, and you just tears and you feel like you're eating fish.
Okay. Well, you know what? The next time I come your way, you're going to have to fix some for me so I can.
I will. I think you would like that one because you say you like fish. I think you would like that one a lot.
Definitely.
Put some cabbage or something, whatever else you like on the side with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Chrissy, for showing up and sharing your story and talking about nutrition. Excuse me. And how it changed your life, because I watched you, like I said, and I know that changing your diet is one pathway to becoming a healthier person. You are evidence of that. There are a lot of people that are actually evident of that, because the older we get, our bodies are our temple, right?
Yes.
And we have to take care of it. And we are what we eat. What we put in does matter. Jesus said what we put in our bodies, it doesn't matter, it's what comes out. But he was talking about in the fact of what's in our heart.
Wow.
He was talking about what's in our heart that comes out. We are talking about the physical, natural person. So what we take in is what our body uses to break down and build us back up from a physical perspective. So you have to put down the preservatives. Well, I'm not going to say what you have to do because everybody has to make that choice for themselves.
Right.
But if you want to live a long, healthy life without cardiovascular disease, without type 2 diabetes, without having to take different medications for different things, high blood pressure, all of those things, you have to first think about what you're putting into your body and change that. And like she said, the first thing, start with some water. Start drinking water. Instead of drinking a 6-pack of sodas in a day or 2 days, cut it down. Make that in half. Instead of when you go to pick up one soda, instead put that one down for that moment and drink some water. And it's a gradual change. It's not going to happen overnight. One little tiny baby steps lead to gigantic big steps. I tell my patients that all the time. I tell myself that all the time. Little tiny baby steps lead to big steps. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your story. Is there anything else you want to say to the listeners before we leave?
No, I just wanted to tell you thank you for having me on your platform. I really, really enjoyed this conversation tonight. Thank you, Wendy.
Well, thank you for being here. I enjoyed it. We talk offline. We talk outside of social media all the time, right? So this was something when God gave me the vision for the podcast, I told you, I'm going to ask you, you're going to be the first person on my podcast.
I know.
I was conflicted. But you made it. You're the second person that I've done an interview with. But you would have been the first. But like I said, our times conflicted, as you know. But I'm glad that you're here and that we were able to have this conversation and just talk about nutrition, exercise, and how we as women get your hormone levels checked.
Yes.
So that you can know where you are, so that you can know what you have to do to maximize what you take in and your level of and what you have to do for exercise. Because everyone is different.
You definitely need to get physicals, not just that, just your blood work. That's really important because I didn't even know that I was pre-diabetic, that I had almost high blood pressure, all of those things. And when my doctor wanted to put me on the meds, I said, no, let me just figure out my nutrition. So she gauged me for 30 days. And when I came back and started losing weight, she said, well, I need to know what you're doing because I need it. So you're right. You got to get checked.
Yeah, you have to get. So going to the doctor and getting the physical, getting your blood work done, that gives you a baseline. That gives you a starting point. Yes. You don't want to just jump in and then you hurt yourself. So if you have a starting point, then you know where you can start at. You know what level of intensity of exercise you need to do. You know how you need to start. And sometimes some people, only thing they can do is start walking. And that's good.
Walking will do a lot. You could just walk every single day for a year and watch what happens.
Exactly. Walking does more than what people think.
Yeah.
So go on, try to get your steps in every day, anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 steps, depending upon what you can do. But you can start off with 1,000 steps and just build your way up. Every week, increase about 500. Yeah. And see what you can do in a year. You'll be surprised at how much you have advanced in a year's time.
Yes.
So yes, thank you all for watching. We will be back again. You can always, Chrissy, do you want to share your information? So if someone has a question or wants to follow you, maybe join your 21-day juicing.
Yeah, so my email is chrissy@modevcr.com. I'll put it in your chat so they can have it. In the thing on your Facebook, because I don't think will it show up here.
It should show up here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it'll I can put it in there as well. Put it in the chat as well. So.
Yeah,
Okay, so yes, so let me put it here too. Chrissy.
Oops. Chrissy at Mode DeVie. Did I spell it wrong? Hold on.
No, yeah. I think that's me. Chrissy at
I spelled it wrong.
Mode
at Mode DeVie. CR.com. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. You are so welcome. There you go. Yep, I see it too. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for watching, for tuning in. Let us know if you have any questions, if you have any comments. And we will see. I'll see you all the next time.
Thank you. Hope you have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Toodles, y'all.
Let's see.